Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new night point of view review. In front of us is the new Dacia Jogger. Now this is the journey trim. We have the for the first time full hybrid, the latest generation, and it's inside 1.8 4-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol producing 109 horsepower with electric motor next to it with 49 horsepower. Combined system horsepower is 156 horsepower. Now 0 to 100 is 8.9 seconds, which is not too bad for a jogger in general. Now let's do a walk around. We have a beautiful new color. It's called terracotta brown. We're also sitting on 16-inch alloys, good comfort, suspension's okay. With this combo, you can see the back here, new design of the taillights. Now let's jump into the car and take it for a spin. Now you're greeted with these little logo in Dacias. It's a little bit annoying, if I'm being honest. I would like an option to disable that. Now let's start the car. So this is a hybrid, so petrol didn't kick in. You can actually see maybe here EV if I come close. Although I think the petrol should kick any moment now to recharge the battery because we're using AC. Okay, before that happens, let me just start the navigation here. It's like starting an airplane because the navigation has some sort of limited hardware. It keeps, loading and loading, and once it loads, it works fast. It has a night theme and day theme, but it doesn't work automatically. You need to, manually set that. Now, if I go back to the home menu and to the navigation, it just, comes back on fast. Just the first load is slow. Let me show you the cameras. We have good resolution for parking purpose, and what's great, when you go back, it just switches the angle. A little music demo, and we're gonna head out. Let me see this one. Okay, so it's all domestic music at this hour. Anyways, the sound system is good. It's not bad for budget-oriented brand. Now, fuel consumption, I'm just gonna lay it out here. You can see here 3.4. My lowest was 3.3. I was averaging 3.5. Today on the highway and city mix, I was like 5.2. When I pick up the car, it was like 5.7 if I'm not mistaken. So you get a reference for everything. I think you can get around 6 stop on the highway or 7 if you're really going fast. The petrol just kicked in. I've kicked it to reverse. I'm just gonna back up so you can see here the camera. There we go. That was really close. Also, the camera changes angles when you're reversing. It's all part of the Renault technology. Now, the system will always keep the battery charged. And once it reaches like this level, it usually kicks in the petrol. So if you slow down, it's just going to kick back to EV mode, or if you start recuperating, so it's normal. Now, Dacia advertises that you can drive up to 80% in EV mode. I think that's true. After my consumption test, and you can save up to 40% on fuel. So also true, as you can see the consumption. Now, I'm gonna speed up here a little bit. I would say that the this is the best jogger. I've tested the LPG version, the pure petrol, but the full hybrid, let's call it full hybrid, it's basically a Renault technology. It is the best jogger you can get. It's an automatic, it has enough power, 156 horsepower is more than enough for this light car. It's not an SUV, it's tall, it feels like an SUV, but it's not an SUV. Now, I've passed a speed bump. This is a bit harsher, but again, 16-inch alloys, enough tire for the suspension to be decently comfortable. Maybe the suspension on the back isn't so great, but it's fine. Now, I'm just going to engage my personal. You saw me dodging that little pillar. So the My Personal button is really inconveniently low. In Renault, it's much closer. You can easily engage it. For this one, you have to like reach out down. So yeah, that's not really good. But I showed you I've reacted quickly because the steering is a little bit heavier. It's more precise. So it's not super light. Now it is nice that you have My Personal button, so you can disengage the personal overspeed warning or speed limit change warning, and the new ADAS. It's a little bit sensitive in some situations, especially if you have glasses. Okay, we have a green light, but this huge bezel around the mirror for the camera and rain sensor is enormous, creating a blind spot for traffic lights, at least if you're a taller person. Now, the car is driving now with the petrol on, but it just speeds up very nicely. I floored it today on the highway, and I gotta say, it really feels nice to have so much power, in the Jogger. Jogger is fairly light, and it seems like you can get Clio consumption in it, but in a big, spacious family car. So that's pretty much amazing. Now, if you're cruising like this right now, you can see the battery is, if I come closer, juicing up pretty quickly. And now we just switched to an EV. So every chance it gets when you maybe slow down a little bit, it's going to switch to EV. And that's why it's really efficient. Now, you only have the 1.2 kilowatt hour usable part. It's like 1.4. But I think it's more than enough if you're mostly, commuting to work and going to occasional road trips. Now, there is this e-save button. You can see the red light. And it's supposed to, tell the system to keep a certain charge, but also I feel like it recharges the battery faster. And if you're on the highway and you're speeding up, you're gonna deplete the battery pretty fast. So if you need that extra power, the e-save button is here for that purpose. Now, on my consumption test, I've had the car running pretty decently, decent amount of time in EV mode. Hopefully, I will demonstrate that now, because after it gets to like 3/3 of charge level, it will just keep driving in EV. So, like right now. And then I feel like this is a completely different car because it's so nice in the EV mode. It's quiet. Now, the petrol is generally in the full hybrid loud. but I think Dacia did a good job in sound dampening around the engine, so it's not super obnoxiously loud, especially when recharging the battery, which it was in some of the Renaults in the first full hybrids. I think maybe the Clio isn't that much loud. I think they also added some of that acoustic sound dampening, or the NVH. Now, for some reason, this front left parking sensor is reacting to nothing, and it's just very loud parking. See, it's just reacting for no reason. Now, I've speed up a little bit and the petrol kicked in, but I also managed to just like gently speed up in an EV mode without engaging the petrol. So I also seen it driving an EV up to 130. I think that's the max. So it's pretty nice. It's probably gonna, like on the highway speeds, switch to EV when the battery's full, and if you're driving or like cruising, let's say 100, 110, or if you let go and just, disengages the petrol and uses the battery as a powertrain and the electric motor. But if you forget to engage the e-save, there's a great possibility that when you deplete the battery on the highway, if you speed up a little bit, that you're going to only rely on the 109 horsepower from the petrol. So you lose that extra 50 horsepower. Now this is me, flooring it a little bit. Now when you floor it, what I don't like is how it shifts. Just it's a naturally aspirated engine, and it just takes a while until it decides to shift gears. It just goes to high revs. I mean, it's that's okay for this engine. It's the way it's supposed to be, but I just personally like when the car, always keeps it in lower gears. But this is only when you floor the car when you want to speed up. I'm going to demonstrate that now on the highway. I just wanted to show you, explain what's going on in certain scenarios. Again, consumption is 3.6. I think we did not 10 kilometers, but close. And I was expecting that light to go to red or close. But if you're going downhill, what I love about this is you can just use the recuperation and recharge the battery and extend your EV range, so you can just drive if you're not driving too fast in an EV mode. Now I've switched it to B, and there is D, which has like a mild recuperation, but I prefer driving in B, and I just prefer forcing recuperation. By default it's D, but I think it actually memorizes if you set it to B. Now it's your personal choice, but for maximum efficiency, I like to keep it in B. Now I haven't sped up too much in the bends. I'm gonna do that now when merging to the highway, but we have the battery in the rear of the car, so it should give it a little bit of lower center of gravity for stability. So I'm gonna drive it now like it's almost like a sports car. A little faster in the corner here. There's a little bit of leaning, but it's very stable. Ooh, I would say stable. Okay, maybe if I would force it, it would be a little bit leaning. flooring it now. Auto long beam engaged. Oh, there's a 120 like a turbo gap, but it's a naturally aspirated engine, and then it keeps pulling. Look at this, 150 just like that in a Jogger. Can you believe that? You can see the LED headlights. Now I'm slowing down, but I'm also recuperating and recharging the battery quite fast. Now down to 100. Okay, highway speeds. Jogger is not super aerodynamic. Install. Decent soundproof. Up to 100. It's a little windy tonight, maybe slight wind. 130. It's going to be much louder. Now this night route has a rough asphalt. There's patches of like smooth, which is more quiet, but generally you can hear tire noise, but especially in this route because just the asphalt. So the tires are actually decent. This is 120. I'm going to speed up to 130. This is 130. So there's a little wind noise at 130 around 8 pillars and maybe the side mirrors. Now altogether, very decent. Cruise control works pretty fine. You don't have the cruise distance, so the radar will only brake for pedestrians and measure the distance. If I switch it to this, you can see here I'm getting closer, and then I need to move to the left lane because it doesn't have follow distance. So they could enable that with the camera, just like Tesla, but they decided to keep it only for pedestrians and measuring 2 seconds distance, safety distance. We have here the blind spot, but it's late. Look at this. Oh, it did not even engage this time for some reason. But during the day, if you watch the day review, it's just a little bit late. Now the headlights, the cold short beam, pretty decent, really good. I wish again they've added the long beam, the same cold lights instead of the warm lights. I don't mind the halogen bulb, but I think they could have just put it in LED. Now altogether, see, it switched to EV now, driving electric. You can see EV. And our consumption hasn't spiked that much. So only 4 liters. Very decent. I'm going to disengage the cruise. And I'm not touching the brakes. I'm just recuperating. How great is that? I'm just going to, okay, this one, put it to energy flow. So again, I think this is the best Jogger, but it's a question of price. This car is 30,000 euros. Now you do get it in Journey trim, which is the best equipped trim besides the Extreme, and it has all the bells and whistles in Dacia, but it's a very competitive price range. Now, what is an advantage of this car the Jogger, you can get it as a 7-seater, so in that case it is competitive, but you are not getting a very luxury car. If you're fine with that, if you're a modest person, then this might be a great car for you. If you're a tall person, I would test drive this and see if the seats are good enough for you. I think if you're not a super tall person such as myself, I'm a 2-meter tall person or 6.6 in feet, these seats can be for longer journeys uncomfortable for me, but for most people they might be fine. We're still driving in an EV now since the highway. Again, amazing, and the consumption is starting to drop. Now, don't bust my balls while I'm in the middle lane. I am switching all the way to the left because I'm going to turn left. Now, driving 80, you can hear that the car is quite quiet. It's not too loud. That wind noise. The asphalt here is smoother, so it's not super noisy like on that highway. I keep getting this vigilance message, and I'm pretty sure I've disengaged in my personal distraction alert, fadage alert. The blind spot is here on, so I'm not sure why it didn't work. But again, this car just speeds up easily and it feels great. Like when I remember now the LPG version, it was so slow, man. I mean, you have to, press the accelerator hard. It just takes time to develop momentum and everything. Whoa, I think that was an owl. But with the hybrid, you have the advantage of the electric motor, and just it kicks off. It's really nice in speeding up. Now 0 to 100 is again 8.9 seconds, so basically 9. But that should be decent for this car, and we're gonna try it out. So I am stopping and full stop. So I'm holding the brake, flooring the shut up. Flooring the accelerator and releasing the brake. Petrol is on. Whoa, brake check. The brakes are good. Wow, I was actually decent. I gotta say it's decent. The Jogger is, I haven't checked the weight of the car to be honest, but it's light. It's just a big body, but it's light. I gotta wrap it up, guys. So altogether, the Jogger Hybrid is a really nice car. So far, the best Jogger in my opinion. With all the new technologies that you finally get in Dacia, like the decent infotainment. If you watched my last Jogger video, it had that old infotainment that was slow. We finally have the digital cockpit, so automatic as well. And I think this is what Jogger should have been from the start, but Dacia has now finally got increased budget and more Renault technologies, so they were able to transfer some of that into the Jogger. Now, I'm not really sure what's going on with these parking sensors. Now, you can see this one's fully automatic. This one, no, you need to hold it. Just to show you here in the EV mode, you have the pedestrian warning. Now the U-turn is okay, but it's a stretch car, so considering that it's okay, but in some scenarios maybe slightly short. But for me, parking wasn't an issue, or doing U-turns. Why are you beeping? I don't get it. See? Okay, I'm not sure if there's something stick right in front of the parking sensor. I just want to check the cameras, so why can't... Okay, there we go. So I like to be always inside the markings perfectly. That's just me. A little bit of OCD. Now, that's it. Our fuel consumption hasn't passed 4 liters, so considering the highway run and a little bit of 0 to 100 test, I think that's more than decent. So a very fuel efficient car. Now, sadly, if we're being honest, most of you customers will be getting either the petrol or the LPG version. I think this is a great car, but again, a little bit pricey, and probably most people will lease this, or this might be a company car, but sadly, I don't think private individuals, not too many will buy this. But again, I think if you are one of the lucky persons to get this, it's a really amazing car, especially if you have a family or some sort of business and you need that massive cargo space in the back. But occasionally, if you have this as a business, you can also use it for your family, because it can fit 3 kids in the back, or 5 if you get the 7-seater. That's it. I'm gonna wrap it here. That's end for this video. I'm just gonna do a walk around and show you the taillights. So yeah, definitely inspired by Volvo, I would say. Looking great. I like the new facelift. Love the color, and the alloys are looking amazing. But altogether, great upgrade technology-wise and powertrain-wise. See you in the next one. Bye.